Right, so back on the shower again today, and hopefully try and get it finished. I'm not sure whether I will today or not, because it looks like it's chancing for some precipitation outside, but we'll see how the day goes. Right, let me give you a quick recap on where I've got to with this. So there's a big gaping hole in the front where the front should be, but if I just sort of pan around from this side, so side walls are in. My corner piece this side is in, cladding on the back stand, and over this side, toilets in and plumbed, sinks in and plumbed, shower trays in and plumbed, and everything's kind of ready really there. There's a cupboard to go up here, but again need some cladding on there first. And then the idea I've got, whether this is going to work or not, is a very good matter. Because it's not the simplest of things in the world. Christ, I'm knocking stuff over. Is to effectively, actually, if I just grab a piece of board here, because I thought, how on earth do you get this front on sort of any sense, going all the way from the floor right to the top to the ceiling, in one go, with both of these corner pieces attached to the front. And I thought that sounds like really hard work. So my plan is going to be to basically slot that into there like so, and then this end have the corner piece attached onto this one, and then basically push that in. And then the two come together, and then that can be screwed from the inside. That's the plan. Whether that's a good course of action or it's going to turn out to be a terrible idea, we'll see how the day goes on. But I think the biggest challenge with this front is going to be the cladding on the inside, because once I've cut my relatively small hole here to get in and out of the shower, of course I'm not going to be able to get this dirty great big sheet of cladding through that hole to put it in from the inside. So that's going to have to be attached to the front before I put it on. How hard can that be? Now let's make a start on this bit and then see how we go. Right, so first things first is to take some measurements. So I've got my notepad, measuring tape, pencil and square. So first things first is my shower tray square to the upright? And I bet it's not. And oh dear. No, it's not. So that's going to add an extra dimension to cutting this, isn't it? Which is all good fun. So what we need to do is put it that way around, raise that up. Right, okay, that's enough for now, just to get that cut out of the bigger sheet. What I'm going to do up here is I'm not going to worry about going absolutely millimetre perfect up here, because I still need to get lights in on the top here, and I also need to waterproof that still with some cladding. So what I'm going to do is put a very small frame in there to allow my light cables to go above it, and frame around here and put the cladding onto that, and that will sort of waterproof it and give me a gap for my wires as well. So that doesn't need to be millimetre perfect at the top there, because I'm going to have about 2 centimetres or 2.5 coming down of the framework. Okay, so I've got my piece of cladding now cut out from the bigger sheet over there, and I've trimmed the bottom. As you can see, the remnants of a line here, and so I've taken about 3-4 mil off from bigger at that end to shorter at this end, and I've done a quick test fit. It didn't quite slot in all the way because it's still just a fraction wide, but there was a constant gap along the bottom here from the shower tray, so that I think is all good, and certainly near enough that a nice big thick line of splodge isn't going to successfully cover up. Right, so now I need to do some scribing. So I've got a piece of one final piece of long hardboard here. Luckily I had two nice big pieces of hardboard that were packaging the Moreland furniture boards when they come, and that's all been chopped up multiple times for various things. And I got one nice long length left, but hopefully I've only got one more thing really to scribe that's going to be tall, which is this panel. So I'm going to chop this to the appropriate height, and then that can be offered into place and use it as a template for the scribe. Okay, so I'm ready to make my scribe line now. So I've cut this piece of hardboard to length. I actually went a couple of centimeters short at the top there because I wanted this to fit first time. I am not in the mood today for flapping about cutting that 3 times. So you know, that's not going to hurt at the top there. So we got that into position, and I don't know whether this is the right way or wrong way to scribe things. I've no idea. You let me know how you do it in the comments. But what I've done is I've made sure my measurement from here to here is constant all the way up, so it's level with this front here, and so it's nearly touching at the top there, and I got a big gap at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is, this is the type of scribe that I use, which is called a Multi-Scribe. So you simply loosen that off, and then you can adjust the depth, height, width, whatever you want to call it, to the appropriate size, and you work your way up. So what I'm going to do is offer this in the bottom here on a sort of horizontal plane, pull that back until the pencil is on the hardboard, like so, and then nip it up. And then, quite simply, maybe he says simply, you know, these things are never that simple, are they? But basically keeping it horizontal, work my way up. Oh Christ, it's catching on the bloody paper there, tape there, look. Okay, right. Work my way up, like so. And keep going all the way up. And stand up a bit now for this one. So you can see my line on there. Right, let's keep going. So get back on the board again. And keep going up over the blue tape, and this is where we come in quite significantly now, look, and keep going up, keeping that straight all the way to the top. Sorry, I was looking what I was doing with the scribe then and not looking at where the camera was pointing, but you get the idea. Let's come back down again just to make sure we get a nice decent pencil line on that. Going to run that a couple of times just to make sure the pencil line is good. Okay, right, that's my scribe. So now when I cut this out with a jigsaw, what I need to do is to make sure this bottom corner is right on that corner there, and then as that works its way up, that should follow the shape of the van, he says. Right, okay, not too bad, I don't think. Yeah, excellent. Right, just need to scribe that onto the piece of sani clad and get it cut to the right shape. Right, and the other element of this, which makes this a particularly tricky scribe as well, is as well as doing the side here, the top won't be perfectly flat either. So before we get too excited and cut this very expensive piece of cladding down to size, I also need to scribe the top. So I've prepped up a piece of scrap ceiling board here, level in this side. Got my scribe set up again. So now we're going to go vertically, and let's run a line across there. Like that. Okay, right, let's cut that out and try and put all these pieces together in some fashion. Okay, so on the top of the sheet of sani clad here, what I've done is on the front edge, which is the bit against the aluminium trim, I've double checked my height for my starting point here, and then I've offered that into there with it sort of square at this end, because we were square up against the aluminium. And then I have change hands like so, and then I have drawn my line with a bit of blue masking tape on there. Not sure whether you can see that on the video or not, but you've got my pencil line on there. So that is my top, and I've taken a measurement at this end, and I've taken a measurement here to the bottom and double check that inside, and I know I'm in the right ballpark there by a millimetre or two, which is near enough for this. And so that can be sort of successfully trimmed off, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to do the back piece, because that actually is the more complicated bit. Let me turn this round and I'll explain why. Okay, so we're around the other way, and I've got my template sat on the top. Now that would, in essence, yes, be nice and simple, just to hold that in position and then just draw a pencil line across there, and Bob's your uncle and Fanny's your aunt. But I've got a piece of trim that I need to put on there, which has, let's get it the right way around, which has that profile. And what that is going to do is, this is just a little offcut obviously, that is going to sit in there like so. And down at the bottom I have a little piece cut out so that will slot down into there. Which way around is that? Is that right? Yeah, that's right. That will slot down in there like that. Now that is going to run all the way up to the ceiling and help create a nice decent seal in there. But let's go back outside. If I offer this onto the piece of cladding here, hang on. You'll see that actually that is making that stick out just a wee bit. I need to try and measure that properly and work out how much that is, because obviously I need to take that off of the total width, otherwise it's going to be too wide to fit in there without an awful lot of pushing and shoving. So let me do that now. So using my template, I've now measured and cut my angle, and I've also attached the trim on here as well. I've used a piece of sealant or a bead of sealant that's been run up through there all the way to make sure that sticks. And where it runs around this corner, I've just taken a few chunks out the back to allow that to turn the corner and not bend on the front. So that's looking okay. So I think I'm just about ready to fit this in the van. So what I've done in preparation for that is, this is the rear of it. I've got my electric sander, and I've run across that you know, half a dozen times just to rough up the surface. And then I've also taken my Stanley knife. I'm not sure you can probably see this on here in the white, but basically just with a Stanley blade, and you know, run some lines across there just to give it a nice rough surface, because we all know that super shiny smooth surfaces and glue are never best bedfellows. So I just wanted to key that a bit to get it to stick. And in the van I have prepped up with loads of Sikaflex all the way up, and also a bead of sort of proper sealant right down in the corner there. So when I push that in, there'll be sealant behind that piece of trim, and also some sealant along the bottom here as well, which it will bed down into. So I got regular sort of bathroom sealant along the bottom, up the edge, and regular Sikaflex 522 on the back, and that is an entire tube full. So if that doesn't stick, nothing will. So right, let's get this in and see how it looks. I've done a dry test fit once already, and so I know that it fits okay. Now it's just a case of getting it in without getting covered in splodge. Right, let's give it a go. Wow, that's looking alright if I do say so myself. I'm surprised at that, because I must admit I wasn't looking forward to this bit of the van build at all, really. The shower is my least looked forward to part of the whole build, but hey, so far so good. Let's get you off there and get a bit closer. So we've got a nice tight line all down here, and my adjustment at the bottom has worked brilliantly, because now we've got a nice tight line all the way along there. I just need to clean off you know, some of the sealant there, and particularly in this corner, just give all that a good clean up before I go ahead and put the final bead of silicone in there. And my corner connection there is looking hunky-dory. So marvellous, happy with that. Right, let's move on to the next part. Wow, all there's left to do actually is put the front on. So let me have a look at that.